I'm Penny. Welcome to today's yoga class. Today we're going to do a yin practice for better relaxation and better sleep. So we're going to start off today in child's pose, but you might want to grab a couple of props before we start because you don't need them particularly. You can do any pose the way you'd like. However, sometimes before bed or relaxation, it's really nice to have a prop. So I have a bolster here and I have 2 blocks, and you can use whatever you would like. So let's go ahead and get into child's pose. Today I'm using this bolster. So take your bolster if you're going to use it. Have a little bit of a wide-legged child's pose and just come forward. And if you would like to even have more bolstering, put one of your blocks underneath your bolster. And then just come down forward, and you can turn your head either to the right or the left to begin. If you have like any numbness in your feet or something from this child's pose, you can put a towel underneath between your hamstrings and your calves, and that will help with that. So go ahead and relax. In your child's pose, we're going to be here for several minutes. This is what it would look like if you just do the child's pose. And just take a long breath in. Long, slow breath out. Let's go ahead and come a theme for our practice. Something you want to dedicate your practice to. And take a long breath in. And a slow breath out. Take a long breath in. And breathe out. Focusing on relaxing the body and the mind. And letting everything that no longer serves you just go by the wayside. Now obviously there will be thoughts that come in, and you can recognize those thoughts. But then just let them go. Now take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. And push out of this very slowly. And come up onto hero's pose for just a moment. Reorient yourself. Let that sink in, what we just did. Let's go ahead and take our right foot forward, and we're going to come into sleeping swan. Now, Hannigan's just joining us here because she loves to do her evening practice with me, and maybe you guys have some furry animals that like their practice too. We're going to take our right foot forward, and then we're going to come into a sleeping swan. Now bring that right heel a little bit closer to your groin than you normally do. And you have your blocks here. If you'd like, you can put one underneath that right hip to keep it from sagging. You can also put the bolster in front of you just to kind of hold on to, or even put a block underneath your head, which would look like this. And then you want to slowly get into this sleeping swan. And take a long breath in. And a long, slow breath out. Now you don't have to use any props at all, and that would just look like just letting your body relax and using your hands maybe as a pillow. So all of that is completely up to you. When you're doing restorative, sometimes it's really nice to have bolsters. It lets it so the body relaxes just a little bit without having to strain in some of the postures. Let's go back to our intention to let go of what no longer serves you. Just taking a nice long breath in and a complete slow breath out. The thoughts will come and the thoughts will go, and you can watch them if you'd like. Try not to get stuck on any of them. Believe me, there'll be another one right behind that one for you to think about. Thoughts are a little bit like a river. They're usually moving, sometimes slower, sometimes faster, depending on if they get stuck on something. So try not to attach to those thoughts. However, there is one thing you can do. If you're somebody that has thoughts, and when you're in your yin practice and you're thinking, something pops into your head, a lot of people do really well if they have a notebook beside them and they can write that thought down. Because when you get up from the practice, a lot of times whatever that thought was, it will be gone. Anyway, back to practice. Take a breath in and exhale down. Long breath in, long slow breath out. And very carefully, I hate moving Hannigan, come push your arms up. Stay here for just a moment, and then very carefully take that right leg back and come into a cat-cow. And if you would like to just push that right foot back, you can even lift it up a little bit, wiggle your ankles a little bit in this modified bird dog, and then just put that right knee down, and now you're in tabletop. So let's go ahead and do the other side. You know, Hannigan's here, and you might have a puppy or a cat with you that you don't want to move, but just be very gentle in moving. So I'm going to take my left leg forward, and I'm not going to go into like a full square for the sleeping swan, so my heel's going to be a little closer to my groin, which helps me relax just a little bit more. And you're welcome to take your bolster with you so that you have something to lay on, which is really nice to do. Or put your head on a block, or even put a block underneath this left hip. Yeah, there's a little dog there, which can keep it from sagging. That I'm going to, this time as well, go without a prop. You can put your head on your forehead on your hands, your head on your hands. And just take a nice breath in and a slow breath out. Now it's really nice if you feel like you have to be up on your elbows for this, because it's just too difficult, to be using either a bolster or a block. And you can put the bolster however it's comfortable. This one I'm just going to lay so that it's across here. And then I'm just going to put my forehead on that and my chest on that. And that can help you relax just a little bit without feeling like you have to strain. So long breath in. Long, slow breath out. Now, if you did bolstering on one side and that felt great, but when you go to the other side it doesn't feel great, you don't have to do the same bolstering or any bolstering. go back to our intention for our practice. Releasing what no longer serves you. Watching the thoughts come in, the thoughts go out. Now because the bolster wasn't as comfortable for me, I actually angled it a little bit so I could put my arms down and just put my head on my bolster this way, which is also a really nice way to bolster. Brings me down a little bit lower because the longer you're in these poses, the more your body starts to relax. Another long, deep breath in. Slow breath out. Watch your thoughts come in and out. Trying not to attach to any particular thought, because there's another one on its way. So take a deep breath in and a long, slow breath out. If you're using a prop, press your hands into the floor, push yourself up, and go ahead and remove any props that you were using. And hold for just a moment. Now go ahead and come up into a tabletop. Take your left and your right knee underneath you. And from that tabletop, extend that left leg. Push it into the floor just a little bit. And bring that left leg up. Kind of wiggle your feet around a little bit into a modified bird dog. Kind of engages that glute just a little bit. And now put that back underneath you. Go ahead and sit on your heels for a moment. And let's just let this pose sink in. If you have any little pets with you, you can pet them. They actually bring in a lot of oxytocin to have a animal or a pet, or if you even don't have one, you could have like a stuffed animal, something soft with you. Let's go ahead and go into the next pose, which is going to be butterfly. So for butterfly, I'm actually going to turn towards the camera here. Butterfly, your feet are just going to be together. And there's a couple of bolstering things you can do for butterfly. You can take the bolsters, 2 blocks, and put the blocks right underneath your legs so that when you open up with the wide part of the legs, you don't feel so much of a stretch in the groin, and that can be really nice. You can also sit up upon a blanket, which will help with the curve of your hips, or even sit on a block. A block's a little high for me, so a blanket is always nice. There's a couple of things you can do with a bolster. You can put that on your feet, move the little, and come forward this way. I'm going to take my bolster to the side, take one of the blocks out from underneath my legs, and actually set that right in front of my feet. And you can put your head on that. You can take and put 2 blocks down, stack them on top of each other, and put your head on there. So the difference between a diamond and a butterfly is the butterfly, the heels are closer to your groin. But if that's uncomfortable, go ahead and push your legs out a little bit more towards, away from the body, and then you're going to have a diamond, which is going to hit a little bit more of that lower back, a little less of the thighs. So pick your pose. I'm going to do butterfly, so I'm actually going to bring my feet close to my groin. I'm going to lift my hips up just a little bit and get a little bit closer to my heels. And you have the option, of course, of putting the blocks underneath your knees. I'm going to bring the block in front, move the little dog nose, and set my forehead on that. And I'm just going to use her as a comfort petter because, you know, she's here, and why not? So let's go back into our focus for our practice. Take a long breath in, a long deep breath out. And let's focus back on letting go of things that don't serve us. And also watching, if that happens, sometimes it doesn't, the thoughts as they go by, like a river. Not attaching to any thought that comes by, not holding on to it, just letting it go. Taking a long deep breath in and a long deep breath out. Long, slow breath in. Long, slow breath out. Watching the thoughts like a river going past. Some will try to hook onto you, get your attention. And if one really does and you need to write it down, go for that. It helps with journaling. But if not, just stay where you're at. Breathing in, breathing out. Now, one thing about forward folds is they do relax the parasympathetic nervous system, helps bring your heart rate and helps put you in rest and digest, which helps with sleep. And sometimes if you feel like your bolsters are too high, like your body has started to let go, you can always lower them. If you don't have a bolster, you can always use your fist. Here's what that would seem like. You can just put your fists on your feet and just stay there. So these blocks and bolsters are nice to have, but not completely necessary. Long breath in. Long, slow breath out. This time, as you take a breath in, very carefully push your hands into the floor or you're on your feet and come up to a seated position. And then take your hands and push your knees in. And let's go ahead and squeeze our knees into our chest as we seat here. So now we're in a seated position. We're going to do one more fold before we go down to the floor, and that's going to be caterpillar. And caterpillar is a really nice one that you can do for like 6 to 7 minutes if you'd like. I'm actually going to stretch my legs out in front of me. That's why I like putting the mats crossing here. I don't want to disturb the dog. And there's a couple of ways to do this. Let's go ahead and sit down. It's really nice if you have a blanket to sit on the blanket so that you're a little bit higher, that you get more of a hinge before you initially go forward. It's also really nice to put a block in between your legs so that your head has a place to go if you'd like it to go there. You can just let your head dangle if you'd like. So this is caterpillar. All right. Come to a seat, legs out in front of you. Straighten your back just a little bit and just hinge forward as far as you can before you let your body just fold over your legs. Options for the bolster are you can lay that across your lap and just hang over the top of it. This is a really nice one. Sometimes the heaviness of that is really nice for your back. And just kind of hang out there. The other thing you can do instead of using a bolster, if you don't have one or you prefer not to use one, is to put that block in between your legs and just put your head on the block. And you can just put your arms around that if you'd like. And if you don't have a block or a bolster and don't care to use one, Just fold forward as a hinge back as much as you can and just let your head drop. And just hang out. This is great for the parasympathetic nervous system. And we're back to our intention for the practice. You can also stack your fists and put your head on your fist if you would like, because there's always an option in the yin to make things more comfortable so you'll be able to stay for a longer period of time. So long breath in, long slow breath out, and unlike vinyasa or hatha yoga, you can just let your feet just flop. It's great. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Let's go back to our intention, letting things go that no longer serve you. Remember, it's really hard to get something different or something to change if you can't let go of the things that you already believe or the thoughts you already have. Because those thoughts mean so much to you that they cloud anything that's new coming in. So when we let go of things that no longer serve us, and believe me, everything that I've let go of has claws in it. It's mine, all mine. Anyhow. Breathing in, breathing out. And those thoughts that go through our mind will keep going through like a river, trying to catch your attention. Recognize them and let them go. Like I said before, if you have a journal and something really needs to get written down, go ahead and write that down, but come right back into this forward fold. Long breath in, long slow breath out. And if you have any props, let's go ahead and put those to the side. Push your hands into the floor and come up into your seated position, bending your legs and bringing them back into your chest. And give your knees a squeeze. So you're here seated, pulling your knees into your chest. And let's go ahead and go into our last poses before our Shavasana, the most important pose, of course. And this is going to be a belly twist. So go ahead and come down to your back. You are welcome to lay on a blanket if you have one. Now my knees are bent, and I'm actually going to take my knees and pull them into my chest. And then I'm going to take my feet down and move my hips as far to the right as possible to line up my spine. And then I'm going to let my knees drop to the left. And take my right arm and just open it. And hold your left hand on your right leg to keep that nice twist. We're going to be here for just a little bit, not as long as the other poses. Your head can be looking straight up at the ceiling, or it can be looking at that right hand. And take a long breath in. And a long, slow breath out. This nice twist, not only does it help for digestion, Hannigan's little feet are up against my back, how sweet. Not only does this help for digestion, it also really helps for resetting your lower spine after all those forward folds, because we've done quite a long bit of forward folds. So long breath in, long breath out. And now put your right hand into the floor and then your feet into the floor and bring your hips back into a neutral position. Bring your knees back into your chest, push your tailbone down, and then roll your lower back just a little bit before we go to the other side. Place your feet down, bring your hips as far left as you can get your spine straight, and then let your knees fall to your right. I'm just going to let mine move around the dog here. If your left leg is popping up in this belly twist, you can always use a bolster. Here's a bolster. And put that in between your legs. I have a dog's paw there too, but you know. And that can help open up that. Bolstering things going on here. That can actually help with this twist. So you kind of want to get your knees to line up together. That's not always going to happen. Everybody's back is different. And then let that left arm go out as much as it's possible. I have a wall here, so I'm just going to fold my arm into a kind of a Y position, or you can even lift your arm above your head or even place it on your belly. And turning your head to the left if you'd like, or looking up if you'd like. So pick whatever bolsters work for you or don't, or whatever blocks. Just be in this nice twisted position. And take a long breath in. Long, slow breath out. Letting go of anything that no longer serves you. It's really nice to kind of anchor that left shoulder. If that's not happening, that's okay. Holding down your knees with your right hand can be really helpful for that nice belly twist. Bringing out the spine, relaxing the low back. Take one more long breath in. And long breath out. Go ahead and push your left hand into the floor. Push your feet into the floor and bring your hips back into a neutral position. Roll your shoulders underneath your spine. Bring your knees into your chest and just roll that lower spine around. One way and then the other way. Let's prepare for Shavasana. Now I'm going to give you more options on that as well. So for those who need a little bit of back support, you can actually bring your feet to the outside of your mat and your knees in with your legs bent. You can put a folded blanket underneath your back. And you can put a bolster underneath your knees. So you have a bunch of options there. I'm going to just go into full Shavasana. It's really nice if you have a blanket or an eye mask. And it's nice if you have any of those available. So if you are in this restorative position for Shavasana, which is knees together, legs apart, you can stay there. For anybody else, let's go ahead and straighten our legs. Turn our feet in towards each other. Squeeze them and then just relax. Let's go into Shavasana. And those thoughts, your palms can be up towards the ceiling. Those thoughts are going to come back. You can watch them. Remember, our focus is to let go of anything that no longer serves us. Take a long breath in. Long, slow breath out. Long breath in. Relax your feet. Relax your ankles. Relax your legs. Go back to your intention. Letting go of what no longer serves you. Watching the thoughts as they come in and go. Relax your low back, your arms, your brain. Let your tongue fall into your mouth. Just stay here for a couple more moments. Now, if you would like to just stay here, you are welcome to. Anywhere between a 5 and a 10-minute Shavasana is really good. You can also squish yourself off to bed if you'd like. But if you need to get up and get going, go ahead and bring your feet up into a bent leg position and roll onto your side. Either side is good, but sometimes it's better on the left side, but the camera is facing, so I'm going to be on my right side. And stay in that on your side for just a moment. Taking a long breath in. Long, slow breath out. And go ahead and push your hands into the floor and push yourself up into a seated position. You are welcome to sit on a block or a bolster. I'm going to pop up on this block and come into Sukhasana, which is a cross-legged position. Straighten your spine. Close your eyes. If you want, you can put your thumb and your forefinger into Gaya Mudra. Visualize letting go of things that no longer serve you. Close your eyes. We're going to end this session with one sound of peace, one sound of Om. Prepare for Om. Om. Bring your hands into prayer. Thumbs at your forehead to intuit the truth. Thumbs to your mouth to help you speak the truth. And thumbs at your heart to help you know the truth. Namaste. Thank you so much for doing this rest and restore yin practice for better sleep. And thank you for joining Ms. Hannigan and I.